The weather, it's heating up and it's about to get a heck of a lot hotter and even more dangerous for people and pets. This is Dr. Jessica Hoyce. She is a vet here at VCA Animal Referral and Emergency Center of Arizona in Mesa. She's here to give you the warning signs of heat stroke, but first we have to meet this precious little feline in your hands. Who is this?
This is my angel Porsha.
Oh, hi Porsha. And I want people to understand, because you said Porsha, even our pets, we can be at risk of heat stroke.
Yeah, so basically any pet or person can be at risk of heat stroke if we're out in the heat too long, and people forget that sometimes at the beginning of the year it's more dangerous because it's getting hot, but people want to get out and be active because it's nice outside. But our little kiddos, particularly little kiddos like Porsha, who doesn't have much of a face there, they don't have a lot of mechanisms to get rid of all that extra heat, and they can get overheated really easily.
All right, so talk about what kind of pet. You kind of mentioned Porsha. What kind of pet is most at risk for heat stroke?
Yeah, so a lot of our really thick breeds like Huskies and Akitas, the ones that have a lot of coat, our kiddos that don't have a lot of face like Miss Porsha and her Shih Tzu Bulldog dog friends, and then also our older dogs or our dogs and cats that have pre-existing medical conditions are going to be the most at risk.
All right, so we're going to talk about the signs of heat stroke. Does it mimic like it will in a human, in a pet?
It can be very similar. Oftentimes the first signs will be them seeming distressed or uncomfortable. They may pant excessively, they may get weak or have pale gums. So there's a lot of signs that we can see with it, and if you start to see those signs, we certainly want to go ahead and get them out of the heat, get them water, get them into shade, air conditioning, get them cooled down.
So when is it at a point where we need critical emergency care?
Yeah, so certainly if you're really worried about your pet, or if your pet collapses or loses consciousness or has any vomiting or diarrhea or anything along those lines, then we start to worry. But if you're worried at any point that maybe your pet's become overly stressed by the heat, we're always here, and we'd always be happy to check him out and make sure that they're doing okay.
Yeah, so even people in the cooler months, you see pets in cars. Is that dangerous?
It is. Even in cooler months, it can get really hot in those vehicles, and so it's certainly something where we never want to leave pets in cars. Yeah. We don't want to leave people in cars either. Right. We all know it can get really hot really quickly, and so even if the window's cracked or you think it's okay, it's only going to be a few minutes, we just don't want them to be left in cars.
So what happens if we do kind of see those signs that our pet is having a heat stroke and we feel we need emergency care? How quickly? I mean, is it treatable? Can they possibly die from heat stroke?
They can die if we don't interact and if we don't intervene quickly enough. They can, but most of the time when we intervene quickly, we get them cooled down, we get them some fluids, and in some cases some other emergency treatments, we can definitely get that reversed in most cases and hopefully get them back home with their families.
So heat stroke is preventable?
It is definitely preventable.
Right, and we need to take the lead on that,
we
right?
do. These guys don't know. They don't know not to go running in the heat. They're not the ones that are asking, they're not asking to do it. And so we have to be the ones that, try to be their advocate and make sure that we're not asking them to do things that might put their little tiny lives in jeopardy.
And what about pets that do have outdoor, kennels?
Yeah.
What if pet owners, what should they do in that case?
So we want to make sure that they have shade and that they have good breeze and fans and fresh water at all times, and just trying to keep them as absolutely cool as possible and give them as many ways to keep themselves hydrated as possible.
Yes, and you guys are an animal emergency center.
We are.
What does that mean, and why should we come here to VCA Eureka?
We can see anything pretty much for dog and cat at any time of the day. If you're worried about your little loved one, and I love you so much, you certainly can come and see us. So basically we're here when you're worried, and we're happy to always be here to make sure that we can check out your little loved fur one and make sure that they're in the best health possible.
Absolutely. Baby pet love is real. It really is. All right, let's give you some information. VCA Animal Referral and Emergency Center of Arizona. They are located at 1648 North Country Club Drive. That is in Mesa, about a half mile south of the 202 freeway. If you need to book an appointment at any time, call 480-877-0191 or visit the website vcaeureka.com.